Hello friends and welcome to Pavan Puri's Pit Stop and to another exciting video on badminton. And today I'm going to talk about and review about the Li-Ning Turbo X92, or you also call it as the Li-Ning Turbo X90 second. So this racket is made of ultra high carbon graphite, which is based on nano carbon tube technology, and that is why Li-Ning say that this racket is very durable and can absorb high impact force. And in continuation, they say that the racket is an optimum choice for all skill sets, which means this racket is suitable for all kind of players, all category of players, all level of players. But is it or not is what we are going to find out in the review ahead. But before we jump on to the performance, let us talk about the key specifications of the racket. So to start is with the frame, which is made of ultra high carbon graphite based on Aerotech beam system, and similarly is the shaft made of. And if we talk about the weight category of the racket, it is a W3S2 category, which is 87 grams in weight plus minus 4 grams, and S2 is similar to G2 in Apex and Yonex. So the category, if we compare it to Yonex or Apex, is a 3U G2 category. Well, if we talk about the length of the racket, it is 675 millimeters in length plus minus 2 millimeters. And if we talk about the string tension, the range starts from 22 lbs to 2930 lbs, which is the maximum that the racket can take. And if we talk about the balance point of the racket, it is 300 millimeters plus minus 5 millimeters towards the head. So the racket is a head heavy racket and is available in full cover. So if we talk about the price point of the racket starts from 1,700 rupees onwards online and in the open market. And as always, I'll share the latest and updated links in the description section below, from where you can follow and purchase this racket. Also note that Li-Ning is offering some good deals with this racket, where either you get a brand new string which you can later on use with this racket, or you get a bag that can hold up to 2 rackets. So keep an eye and watch on the deals. And before we move ahead, let us have a closer look at the racket and see how you feel about it. Well, if we talk about the frame and the shaft of the racket, as mentioned before, it is made of ultra high carbon graphite based on nano carbon tube technology, which ensures that the frame, shaft and the weight, the overall weight of the racket is perfectly balanced. And also to let you know that this is actually based on the nano power frame technology. If you remember, we have a Li-Ning nano power series, so the same technology has been induced into this racket, which is called as the Aerotech beam system. Well, based on Aerotech beam system, a detailed analysis was done by humans and by machines onto this racket, and a significant reduction in lag was felt as compared to the earlier versions of this racket, the 80 and the 70, which means that the racket is now quicker and the air resistance is less. So there were many confusions if the racket is a balanced racket or a head heavy racket. So here, if you see, it says balance, right? And we know that normally Li-Ning rackets do mention, if it's a head heavy or something like. But when you swing it, you can clearly feel that it is a head heavy racket. And one most important thing is the contouring that has been done. See, you can see till this point, from the T joint to this point, the tube has been rounded off, and then there is this chipping that is done on the upper half of the racket, which travels to this point, similar. So which means the lower half has been rounded off, which is a clearly indication of a head heavy racket. And if you have a headlight or a evenly balanced racket, then the chipping starts off somewhere around this region. So that makes it all the more affirmative that this racket is a head heavy racket. Well, if we talk about the balance between the frame, shaft and the grip, they're just precise, I would say, just precise for a racket at 87 grams at this price, intermediate plus level racket, and an S2 grip which is thinner and longer, but it just complements so nicely. You hold it, you just swing it, you feel that, you know, just properly balanced, just the right grip for, you know, such sort of a racket with the weight and, you know, the dynamics it has. And if we talk about the shaft, they say it's a slim shaft, but I feel it is somewhere between the regular and the extra slim shaft. It is at 7 millimeters, so but it is pretty much precise, and I would say the shaft feels durable and stable. Well, talking about the shaft, we know that it is also made with the same material as the frame, as you know, the entire body is made of ultra high carbon graphite, and the shaft is a high tensile slim shaft, as Li-Ning call it. Well, if we talk about the control cap of the racket, it has this flattish area, if you can see in the reflection here, and you get a good hold and good grip of the racket while those pushes close to the net. So if we talk about the performance of the racket, at 87 grams the racket feels light. And if we talk about the category, see, I would say all sorts of players can use this racket, may it be intermediate plus. If you have a defensive game, you have smashes, placements, drops, cross net drops, whatever your game is, this racket suits to all the categories and levels. And one of the most important thing not to forget, that third line clear is a breeze, and a controlled and comfortable play is what we get from this racket. And if we like to summarize in a few words, you know, the selling point of this racket, then I would say smashes, drives, quick agility, fast movement in the air, less air resistance, 30 lbs of string tension are a few words. But talking about the control is also an integral part of the racket, and what I observed was that the close net plays and drops and those, you know, slight pushes, those jerks, they were pretty much you know, calculated, and I found them to be impressive. Well, if we talk about the strings and the string tension of the racket, then the range starts from 22 lbs to 30 lbs, which probably is a range where you can try almost all sorts of strings. But of course, the BG65 titanium is an all performance string. You can use it anywhere in any sort of game. But if you need performance strings, then you need to use the 66, 80, and then also they've mentioned here the number 1 and the number 7 string, which are actually Li-Ning strings. And not to forget, it says these strings are made in Japan, so quality will not be compromised. So the number 7 I feel is the one that is an all performance string, and the number 1 is a high performance string. So you can choose the one that fits your game. So now let's have a look at the test. So after getting my hands onto this racket, this is how the graph looks. And if we talk about power, it is 8.1, performance is 8.2, third line clear is 8.1, control is 8.4, and durability is 8. So this was my experience with this racket, and as the racket has been in the market for a while, I'm sure that many of you own it, and you have your own experiences with this racket. So do share in your experiences in the comment section and let me know if I have missed out on anything. And until then, stay safe, stay healthy, watch healthy videos, stay away from corona. Do not forget to wear your masks when you leave your homes, and have a great day.